Why is it that I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live? 40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660. So I work 40 hours a week so I can have a 2-bedroom apartment. I don't know what to do. I'm not made for this.
Gen Z don't want to work anymore. Gen Z is struggling in the workplace. Just look at the headline and nobody wants to hire Gen Z. Companies are firing Gen Z employees soon after hiring them, and here is why.
So dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person and I'm commuting in the city and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh, if I was able to walk to work and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here at, like, I get on the train at 7:30 and I don't get home till like 6:15 earliest, and then like I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my god. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just like the 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office 9-to-5, like if it was remote, you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But like, I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and like people that drive to the office, like you don't get off at 5, and I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but like I literally get off, it's pitch black. Like, I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like, how do you have time to like meet like a guy? I don't know. Like, how do you have time for like dating? Like, I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out, and I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional. But like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
What she's saying right now is the emotion that many Gen Z are feeling. They feel like they have no time for anything, that work is taking too much from their life, and they are really struggling in the workplace right now. Here, Elfie Gamer explaining this.
So everyone's wondering why Gen Z is so nihilistic. And I see stuff like, you know, these corporate CEOs who are like, no one wants to work anymore. And the kids don't have discipline, and they don't have no work ethic, and everyone's just lazy, and everyone's just like, no one's chasing things. And the reason that Gen Z thinks that life has no meaning is because life has no meaning. So if we really stop and think about it, in the past, the meaning of life, or what got us through our early years, was this kind of script that later on we will be happy, right? There was this sort of idea that if you sit down and you work hard for a while, eventually the good things will come. And the purpose of life is to have the good things. And so early on, when we're sort of like, when our brains are young and we're still sort of forming what life is, we would kind of go through stuff and we'd say like, okay, this is the prize over here. There's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Let me follow the rainbow because eventually I'll be happy. So everyone's wondering why Gen Z...
That totally makes sense to me, because people used to work for retirement. They were working their whole life, 40 hours a week and sometimes more, and for 40 years plus, sometimes 45 years, 50 years to retire and have peace of mind once you retire, and money to live decently. But now that's not possible anymore. Your retirement money is gonna be very, very little, and everything is gonna be very, very expensive. So there's practically no point anymore to work a normal job.
So I'm just supposed to sit here for 40 hours a week for the next 45 years of my life?
Only if you live for 45 more years.
Exactly, exactly. It's sad to see that people are realizing that we are basically enslaved to our job. The system, the society wants us to work like slaves non-stop and have no time for anything else. And they are basically exploiting us, and Gen Z is completely revolting against this for good reason.
They've seen boomers work their entire lives working at one company just to be dropped when that employee isn't convenient anymore. They've seen millennials work their way up the corporate ladder and still not be able to pay off their student loans. And then they look at their own futures and see that even if they work the overtime hours, get the extra certificates, and claw their way up the corporate ladder, they still won't achieve the same standard of living that their parents had.
Exactly. Basically, even if you work your off, you're basically not sure to be able to afford a decent living like your parents were be able to. And now it's very depressing for all of these young people coming into the workplace.
Everyone's like, Gen Z has options. People are starting to get more and more options to not work for you. When everyone's like, Gen Z's so soft, I'm like, all right, take yourself back to being 23. Would you rather have a job, pay you $20 an hour and make $38,000 a year, or would you rather make $80,000 a year being an influencer talking about the things you want? There are more and more options every day. Your retention and the way you're building your teams is a massive variable.
Exactly. Now you have the option to work from home, you have the option to work online, you have the option to be a TikToker, an influencer of some sort, and not work a 9 to 5. There are many options to make money nowadays, and working a 9 to 5 and struggling every day, commuting to work and having no time for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for work-life balance. Basically, it's sad, honestly, and Gen Z don't want to do that.
If you are an unemployed Gen Z, you need to be working harder in the current job market. And I'm not saying this, these are the exact words of the Squarespace CMO. In other words, you need to be willing to do anything. Anything includes free work, working long hours, working from the office, attending last-minute meetings at 8 a.m., doing work outside of the scope of your job. And I'm not making this up. According to the CMO, Gen Zs are asking for too much. They want to work from home, they want minimum working hours, and they want a generous paycheck. When she started, she did the exact same thing. She worked for free, she worked on weekends, she worked late hours, and she truly believes that that hard work that she put in made her successful. I've been in tech for 10 years. I have done literally everything listed on her list. Do I think it was worth it? 100%. But honestly, this is a very boomer thinking. Today's generation is different. They are asking for more, for valid reasons. So why should we go back to old times?
Gen Z don't want to be exploited anymore, working long hours and not getting paid, basically working for free on weekends, early in the morning, late at night, on last-minute meetings, and working basically overtime for nothing, and it's not worth it anymore, honestly. When you see that even if you do this, you cannot afford a decent living, it's sad. It's very sad.
Gen Z is widely considered an employer's nightmare. 1 in 6 companies do not want to hire Gen Z. They say Gen Z is entitled, easily offended, unable to handle feedback, lacking in motivation, professionalism, strong work ethic, and communication skills. It makes you think, what doesn't Gen Z lack? Apparently, the ability to make things worse. Over the past few years, the young haven't helped their case by making up these work trends: quiet quitting, lazy jobs, mouse jiggling, or conscious unbossing, meaning consciously choosing not to be a boss or a manager because it's too high stress and low reward. But the fact remains, the young are not seen as great employees. Historically speaking, this is the most privileged generation. They grew up with the internet, with technology. For them, all kinds of resources are one click away. So insulation, apathy, or unrealistic self-assurance is not going to cut it in the real world. Experiences. Gen Z is widely considered an employer's nightmare.
That's it. Gen Z is the employer's nightmare, they said. It's very sad, honestly. People are still struggling even if they work a decent job nowadays. Everything is very, very expensive because of inflation. Housing costs a lot, renting costs a lot, transportation costs a lot, and you're basically guaranteed to have nothing for your retirement, and it's sad, and nobody wants to do that anymore. Working 40, 45, 50 years to have nothing at the end. It is sad. Honestly, hopefully the situation improves. Hopefully we find some kind of solution for this. Let me know what you think about this issue and what the solution may be. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here as always, and click right there so that you can watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.